In the news, the Musk man at it again. The Spiro Poppy says yes to Twitter. I'm sorry, Davis.
What's Spiro Poppy?
You know, the spiral potato thing on the stick that he consumed at the, what was it, sombrero thing in Brownsville? I forgot the name of it. I'm sorry.
He was trying to blend,
bad
right?
Charo days. I'm sorry. I should know better, but it's one of those dyslexia things. It was one or the other, and I committed to one and it was the wrong. I'm not, but I could be. Anyway, joining us on 710 KURV, who knows about all this stuff and is one of the big brains, his name is Eric Peterson. He's a policy guy at Satoshi Action Fund and contributor to Young Voices. He's our guest right now. He's an expert on all this stuff. So Elon Musk saying yes to Twitter. What was the drama leading up to this moment?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I think the drama leading up to it was whether or not this was actually going to go to court. When Elon Musk originally sent the proposal to the SEC at $54.20 a share, a number I'm sure he picked out of thin air, it looked like he was overpaying for Twitter a little bit. But once the interest rates started going up from the Fed, the tech stocks took a gigantic hit, and it really looked like a bad overpay. He tried to back out, saying a lot of stuff was going on with bots, looking for the Twitter whistleblower, anything to try to probably get a lower price. But the Delaware courts work really quickly, and that discovery came really fast and started to make Mr. Musk look not great. And I think at the end of the day, he wanted to get this deal done to keep his reputation going in the right direction. And I think he has got a real chance to turn the platform around as well.
Does he have to pay anything extra for waiting so long, going through this delay? Does the price change at all?
No, the price is agreed upon. And if you look at the current stock price of Twitter, it shot up yesterday at the response to or 2 days ago at the response to this news. So it should sit around there. His extra costs, of course, are the legal fees of running through there. But as I said, Delaware court knows contract law very well, and they work very quickly. So the sort of delay tactics that Mr. Musk was probably getting at don't work so well over there. And like I said, once discovery got going, I think it was really in his interest to get the deal because the out in his contract, I believe, was $3 billion. Take it or leave it.
Davis Rankin, your question.
Two questions. Who won in this deal, number one? And number two, $3 million. Do you write a check? Is it a transfer? Do you hire? How does?
Is he going to pay in Dogecoin?
That's right.
Yeah. So I think the big winner here are the Twitter shareholders. So many tech stocks that are or tech companies that are doing very well have just taken a beating as interest rates have continued to rise. Amazon, Google, all these companies are down, 30% over the last, 6 or so months. So Twitter is absolutely getting a gigantic premium on those shares right now. So if you bought into Twitter thinking that Mr. Musk would buy it, or if you're a Twitter shareholder, I think that's a big win for you. I think it's also a win for innovation in this space. Twitter has been fairly stagnant for a long period of time. They haven't been adding users. They haven't had a good way to monetize the platform. So there's a real opportunity to do something a little different here, and I think provide some more competition in the marketplace. And the funding for buying Twitter has been really interesting. It's one of the big holdups, actually. Mr. Musk wanted to get loans off of his Tesla stock to complete that purchase. And obviously with the tech stocks going down as much as they have, it made it much more difficult for him to buy it based on the value of his Tesla shares. We all think of Mr. Musk as being the richest person in the world, and he certainly is by net worth, but he's not holding that money in cash or Dogecoin or Bitcoin for that matter. Most of it is tied into Tesla and SpaceX.
Our guest is Eric Peterson. He runs policy at Satoshi Action Fund. He's a contributor to Young Voices, our guest on your 956 drive home. I'm sorry, Davey. Go ahead with your question.
Did Mr. Musk see value where others did not, in your view, or is he paying just a fair price for a thing? Or and then number two,
we know he's got a fixer-upper on his hands with Twitter.
Then number two, why were all the employees reported as being oh my god? I don't get it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think if you look at the market value, he certainly has overpaid just on conditions of the market right now, which is why Twitter was so eager to take the deal and would take Mr. Musk to court over it. I think he does have a fixer-upper, right? If you look at the fastest-growing social media platforms, the number one for teenagers right now are, of course, TikTok and Discord, where people are having sort of conversations with each other, and the monetization looks really different. The two things that Mr. Musk is going to have to figure out with Twitter are both how to increase that monetization and to do with content moderation, because it's often at the forefront because so many celebrities, thinkers and politicians use Twitter and pay so much attention to it. It gets way more scrutiny than many other of the firms there.
Interestingly, he tweeted out that this was his Twitter acquisition was supposed to be a vital part in X.com, his social media thing. Now, that's very cryptic and kind of arcane for people that don't follow the whole thing that closely. What's the story behind X?
Yeah, Elon is well known for being a Twitter troll. Elon has owned X.com for quite a long period of time and has always joked that he was going to make it something. So I think there he is playing a joke on the press right there.
I hope not. That'd be interesting if they found some sort of way to revolutionize social media in this day and age. So what do you think are some of the big changes that will happen once everything's finalized and the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed?
Yeah, there's one smaller change that I think he will make and one potentially very large change. I think the smaller changes is going to revolve around content moderation and monetization. We might see people like President Trump, or former President Trump, should I say, come back onto the platform. Now the question is whether he will. He's, of course, tried to take Truth Social onto the stock exchange. So we'll see if he goes back to Twitter, even if he was invited back on. I think the really interesting thing is whether he's going to try to change how Twitter operates at a base level, move it into something that is more like your email account than a social media platform like you're used to seeing with TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. That is certainly a large undertaking, but of course he has the resources and the vision and the fact that it will be held primarily in his hands to sort of force something like that.
Hold on, that sounds like an interesting description even to me. I'm the resident tech guy here. What do you mean by that? More of an email-based thing?
Yeah, so if you think about the way that your email works, right, you can send an email from Outlook to Gmail to Hotmail to Yahoo Mail. Email works on a protocol, not a platform level, so you don't have to be on a specific email platform to email back and forth between people. And so I think the idea there would really open up Twitter to being able to see sort of short, bite-sized content from a variety of feeds, rather than just having to see it through the Twitter platform. And I think that would deal with a lot of the issues, both with content moderation, and potentially monetization.
Interesting. Kind of a one-stop shop. That's a fascinating concept. Okay, I can see that kind of happening. That's good. That's good. Any final thoughts on Musk acquiring Twitter before we take off, Mr. Peterson?
All right.
Yeah, I think we're not going to see a huge change into Twitter right away. I think a lot of the folks freaking out thinking it's going to sway elections one way or the other are a little bit overwrought. But, everything Elon has worked on for a long period of time has generally ended up paying off. And I certainly hope that we'll continue to see more innovation and churn in this space, especially as Meta is pivoting to a lot of things. Discord is gaining in popularity. Reddit continues to gain. And, of course, TikTok is really popular with Gen Z right now. So it's an interesting time in this space when maybe 2 or 3 years ago it looked like we were just a few big players.
Yeah, and I would love to have another conversation about the whole Google versus TikTok thing. I know a lot of Gen Zers are moving to TikTok over Google, and that's another interesting conversation for another time. But thanks for your time here today. That's Eric Peterson, policy at Satoshi Action Fund and contributor to Young Voices, joining us on News Talk 710 KURV.